Hey everyone, it's Maury. I'm in a little better mood than the last time you saw me. I am on location up in Prescott, Arizona at my favorite little dispersed campground site. I've been up here a number of times, and this is sort of my last hurrah. You may recall from my audio post that I talked about colon cancer and what was going on with me. And so I didn't go into a lot of detail, and I'm not going to make this, a big deal about me and my treatment. But the Reader's Digest version is that I did have colon cancer, colorectal cancer. It was high enough that we were able to just remove it surgically instead of doing radiation and chemotherapy first. We just did the laparoscopic Da Vinci surgery to remove a section. Got the tumor, got clean margins, but because it had vascularized, it was capable of sending little miniature cancers out. And so as a result, I'm doing cleanup chemo starting on July 31st. And that's a 6-month regimen. Every 2 weeks, I go in for an infusion for a few hours, and then they send me home with a pump for a couple of days. And then, from what I've been told, I go home and I feel crappy for a while, and then I feel better, and then I've got a few days to get everything done, and then I start over. Now, it's not the same for everybody, and I'm hoping that it's not rough or as rough as what I've been told it can be. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for that. But in the meantime, that's where we are, and that's what's going to be happening. So it may or may not limit the kinds of things I can do, but hopefully I can work it out. So in the meantime, I'm away for the weekend. I figured this is my last weekend without a infusion port or medicine hanging off my body. So I thought I'd get away for a while. I'm at, like I said, my dispersed campsite, and I found a park with campsites up by Watson Lake that looked really nice. It's $20 a night, and they don't have hookups. They do have water available centrally. They don't have a dump station, but in the van I don't really need it. They do have some bathrooms and stuff, so if I have to dump the cassette, I can. But I don't anticipate having to do that. I'm only going to be gone a couple of days. I'll go back Sunday. So let's see what else. I've done a few things in the van. I purchased sets of magnetic charging cables, which is a USB cable with a little magnetic plug on the end of it, and then there are little tips that you put into all of your devices that it connects to and charges them, so it makes it super easy to plug things in. You can use one cable for everything, and I wired one into the dashboard so that it's always available, and I can push it back into the dashboard out of the way. The last time I was up here, I took a shower, and to start with, I was going to use my propane to warm the water up, which I've owned the van almost a year now, and I've not really used the propane at all. So I figured, I'll try it out. So I turned everything on and immediately smelled propane. I ran outside, sniffed around, I could smell it. I turned it off. It was leaking from one of the regulators. So the Hymer Active came with the propane tank mounted underneath, and then there's a fitting that goes up into the van for the stove and the Truma. Well, there's also a split that has a regulator of its own that fed a propane hose or an external propane fitting if you were using a gas grill or something like that outside the van. And it was leaking from that regulator. I don't carry around a grill, so I figured rather than replacing the regulator, I would just remove that section completely. So I took the regulator off, the hose off, and the connector for the external grill. Eliminated multiple points of failure, and everything is fine now. So there's a quick update. Hopefully I'll be able to squeeze in some trips of various kinds in between appointments. Not just camping, but I'd like to be able to get away and visit some family. I have family in Washington State and Oklahoma, Southern California, and then it would be nice to be able to get someplace else too. I had planned originally on making it back to Maui this year. That's not going to happen, at least as far as I can tell at the moment. But maybe at the beginning of next year, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll be great. Maybe it won't be so bad, and I can do some cool stuff. In between treatments, I'll have about a week and a half to mess around. So, depending on how I'm feeling, either I'll have a few days or, maybe a few more. We'll see. There's a lot of unknowns right now. So tomorrow I'm going to head over to the lake, and I will film over there and show you what that's all about. It's tucked in just a little bit north of Prescott, and it's a cool little place. I didn't even know about it. I've driven by there. I actually looked at houses in the neighborhood adjacent to it and had no idea that there was a lake tucked in the dell. It's surrounded by rocks and hills and mountains, and there's a lake, and there's water sports, boating, fishing, all kinds of stuff. So stay tuned for that, and as always, have a great day.